On this channel, I've basically taken a deep dive into every single weapon class there is in Fortnite, but there's one class that I've strayed a little bit away from, and that is assault rifles. You guys ask me every single day to rank every single assault rifle, and I promise that video will come at some point. But with the addition of some new assault rifles in Chapter 5 Season 4, I figured we would rank the top 5 assault rifles in Fortnite history. This list was so hard to make. I even asked you guys in a community post what you guys thought your top 5 assault rifle list would be. I should preface early on in this video right now that we are talking about the current state of the weapon, not like pre-nerf, pre-buff, any of that stuff, just how the weapon currently sits in the game today. If you're going to enjoy this video, be sure to leave it a like. This was a really tough list to make. There's no right or wrong here, and be sure to use code TYFRYZ in the Fortnite item shop to support my YouTube channel. Be sure to stay till the end because number 1 might surprise you a little bit. All right, I know you guys are tired of my yapping, but I have to get some honorable mentions here out of the way. These are a handful of weapons that for one reason or another fall outside of the top 5, but most of them would probably be in a top 10 list. They are right around that area. Firstly, the OG Scar. This weapon on launch was absolutely busted with like 90 something headshot, but it's been nerfed a ton since then, and as it currently stands, like the Chapter 4 Scar, that thing is terrible. As well as this, the 3-round burst AUG from Chapter 2 Season 2 will be an honorable mention. Same thing with the infantry rifle and the Stark rifle, all assault rifles that are extremely strong and could be the number 1 spot in the right hands, but for me just fall outside of the top 5. But all right, let's finally get into this list. At the number 5 spot is going to be Sky's assault rifle from Chapter 2 Season 2. I mean, look, they basically took what was at the time the best assault rifle in Fortnite history and gave it more damage and a higher fire rate. I mean, what else could you want in a weapon? And with a DPS of 222 damage, yeah, you're really starting to get up there with some elite weapons. And particularly in Chapter 2 Season 2, if you were going up against a controller player that had this weapon in their hands, good luck. You were just going to get absolutely shredded. Even though the fire rate buff was only by 0.5, guys, that makes a world of difference. And if you've ever used this weapon, you can tell how much faster and how much more damage it feels like it does than just a regular Scar. I can't really emphasize this enough. Like, they basically took what was the best weapon of all time, arguably, back then, and gave it a better version. That is a pretty revolutionary upgrade that they did right there. I don't think a lot of people were expecting it. In my opinion, it was just leagues above every single assault rifle in Chapter 2 Season 2. If you were looking for a medium or even close range weapon, it was always going to be Sky's assault rifle. It had such a good fire rate that you really didn't even need to run an SMG. I remember running an AR and a shotgun, and that's all you needed. Maybe chuck in some heals, a heavy sniper, Brutus's minigun in there somewhere, and you guys, you know how it goes. You're going to guaranteed win the game. I honestly can't believe that there are 4 assault rifles better than this, but after doing some research, I do believe there are a couple assault rifles better than this, but this weapon is no sham. It is incredible. At the number 4 spot is a weapon that I really didn't see commented that much in my community post, and it really surprised me. That's Nisha Striker AR. And look, I know some people are going to hit me with some recency bias here, saying, oh, it was just in the game. Give it a couple of seasons and you'll forget about it. I don't know. It's been a couple seasons, and I still think about Nisha Striker AR every single night. Not really, but you guys know I'm Striker Gang. You know, give me some Striker Gangs in the comments below. No Nemesis. We are anti-Nemesis on this channel. But in all seriousness, a DPS of 234.9. Guys, that is some absolute serious damage. And that's possible because while the regular base damage of 29 is really actually pretty weak from most assault rifles, I mean, we just talked about Sky's AR, which did 37 damage. The fire rate is really what makes this thing stand out with a fire rate of 8.1. Guys, that's faster than a lot of SMGs. I also just love how this thing is absolutely kitted out in like all black. You got the suppressor, the red dot sight. It feels so good to use. Imagine if you could kit out something like Sky's assault rifle, put a scope and a silencer on that thing, how good it would be. Obviously, yes, you have to account for the fact that this weapon, along with all of the weapons in Chapter 5 Season 1, were not hit scan weapons. But Nisha Striker AR had more attachments. It had a speed mag, which of course, as you guys all know, increased the reload speed by 20%, and an angled foregrip, which reduced the ADS time. This thing was absolutely kitted out to the max. The way I see it really, if you took Nisha Striker AR and put it in probably 95% of Fortnite seasons, it would be the best AR in that season. I don't think this weapon gets enough love, but I'm here to give it the love that it deserves. Nisha Striker AR is the number 4 best AR of all time. At the number 3 spot is the Twin Mag Assault Rifle from Chapter 4 Season 4. And I would say out of every single list that you guys commented on the community post, I would say this weapon was in probably like 90 to 95% of them. And a couple of you guys had it at the number 1 spot. I don't think it's quite that good, but a lot of you guys had it at the middle spot, right around this 2, 3, 4 mark. And yeah, I would agree with you guys there. There's honestly no question in my mind that the Twin Mag AR is one of the most dominant assault rifles ever. I absolutely love the scope on this thing, and in terms of like the Twin Mag effect with the quicker reload every other reload, I mean, to me, that doesn't really move the needle very much. It's cool and it's nice to have, but it's not really needed, right? I think where this weapon really stands out is simply just the handling. It has a decent fire rate, it has a really nice scope, and extremely low recoil. I mean, what else do you want from an assault rifle? This weapon just felt smooth, right? It felt smooth like butter to use this weapon. It just felt clean, no recoil, with just pinpoint accuracy if you were good enough. And this weapon was really crucial because of something else that was in that season, that being the rocket ram, right? Everyone was flying in the air, but flying relatively slow. So to have a really accurate assault rifle to be able to pick them out of the air, a lot of people were opting to use the Twin Mag assault rifle for that reason alone. It also has an increased headshot multiplier, so if you are accurate, which you should be with this weapon, you can get bonus damage on those headshots. Again, just so versatile, good in every single situation, and I really hope this weapon comes back. I love the Twin Mag AR. And alright, we have finally reached the top 2, but I guess in what order, right? You guys probably know what weapons are going to be up here. But for me, at the number 2 spot is the Overclocked Pulse Rifle. But for me, at the number 2 spot, it's got to be the Overclocked Pulse Rifle. Wow, I mean, where do I even begin with a weapon like this? And obviously, you guys are probably seeing a trend here. Almost all of these weapons, if not all of them, have only been in one season of Fortnite, and that's probably for a reason, because they were way too overpowered and strong. In the hipfire version, where your fire rate was the fastest, you could do a DPS of 237 damage. I mean, 237 damage a second. Really take the time to think about that. And it used to be even higher. They had a quick patch on this thing and reduced the fire rate from 7 to 6.25 and reduced the hipfire accuracy. So you can imagine how good this thing was on launch. It was an auto take in Chapter 4 Season 2. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you saw the Overclocked Pulse Rifle, you are taking it, and if somebody was shooting you with this thing, you were getting out of that fight as soon as possible. There truly are very minimal amounts of Fortnite weapons that have the ability to just instill fear in you. I mean, this is absolutely one of them. I mean, listen to this. 57 damage in an aim down sights, right? That is like a DMR type number. Yes, I do understand the fire rate is a lot slower when you aim down sights at just 3.5, right? But you also have to factor in that this weapon had infinite first shot accuracy. You guys will see in the gameplay when you're aim down sights that there is no bloom. It could be 100, 150, 200 meters away. If your crosshair is there, you are hitting them. And so at long range, you were absolutely covered, right? You could beam anybody. And at close range, you had hip fire damage of 38 damage and a fire rate of 6.25. I mean, that alone in a hipfire form is better in every single metric than Sky's assault rifle as a whole. I'll be honest with you, this weapon plus a legendary slurp juice and a mythic havoc pump is just absolute nightmare material. I hope that never comes back. I mean, throw some ODM gear in there. I mean, the Chapter 4 Season 2 meta was all over the place, and this weapon was a core factor of that. But guys, it is unable to top the number 1 spot. In my opinion, it was an obvious choice, and so many of you guys put it at your number 1 spot. It's the MK7 assault rifle. And yes, I am including the post buff, of course, the current version of the weapon, as well as the Foundation's mythic MK7 assault rifle. They're both here. They're the exact same weapon, just the mythic version is that much better. So I guess if you want to get really technical, yes, it is the Foundation's mythic MK7 that is on this list. Look, I know we are talking about the current version of the weapon, post-nerf, all that type of stuff, but guys, this thing on launch is, in my opinion, the best Fortnite weapon we have ever seen, bar none. There has never been a weapon in Fortnite history that is better than the Foundation's MK7 assault rifle was on launch day. And mimic the same thing about just the base versions of the MK7. On launch, it was the best weapon I think we had ever seen. With that being said, though, even after countless nerfs, I do still believe it is the best assault rifle in the game. And look, these nerfs were nothing to kind of just push over, right? They decreased the environmental damage by 4, they decreased hipfire accuracy, they decreased the damage from 26 to 25. This is all about the Foundation's MK7 here. They decreased the damage even more from 25 to 23, then nerfed the damage again from 23 to 22, nerfed the fire rate from 10 to 9.5. I mean, they tried to destroy this thing. They tried to take it down, but they were unsuccessful in that. The players who were unable to use it in Chapter 3 and finally were able to get their hands on it in Chapter 4 finally got to see how broken this weapon was. Even after those nerfs, it still had a DPS of 210. Imagine how much it was before then. It had to be near 250, I would think. And they basically tried to destroy the OG MK7 after it launched, but they were unsuccessful. I love the red dot sight on this thing. I come from an FPS background, so to see an assault rifle with a red dot, which of course this was the first weapon with that, absolutely blew my mind when it launched. When I first got my hands on this weapon, I knew it was going to be one of my favorite weapons of all time, and that still stands true today. I love this assault rifle, and I genuinely believe so many other people do. I think it is a no-brainer, the best assault rifle in Fortnite history. All right, guys, well, that was a pretty controversial list, so go down there in the comment section. Give me your list for the top 5 assault rifles. I would love to have a discussion down there with you guys. Do you think I missed any on this list? I mean, do you think any of the honorable mentions should be within the top 5? Let me know, of course. If you went on to enjoy this video, be sure to leave it a like as always, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.